let's take another deep dive. Today we're heading to Thailand. Specifically, the luxury condo market in Phuket's Thonglor neighborhood. Our source material this time is an article called Top Luxury Condo Developments in Thonglor for Foreign Buyers. And, just glancing at it, it is packed with, well, glossy photos and really tempting descriptions.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to sell you on a certain vision of life in Thonglor. And it's worth noting this article is published by Ocean Worldwide.
Okay. And who are they exactly?
Well, they're a luxury real estate agency, been operating in Phuket for a while, since 2004. They specialize in high-end properties. Phuket and Koh Samui are their main areas, so, they have a particular perspective, one that's definitely geared toward attracting buyers.
Right, so as always, got to read between the lines a little bit. Figure out what's really important if you were thinking about this market, whether as a buyer or just someone curious about, what this world is like. The article highlights 10 different condo developments, each with, their own unique selling points. I think to make this deep dive manageable, maybe we should focus on some of the recurring themes, things that might actually influence your decision if you were in the market. Like what about location, amenities, the types of units available?
Yeah, good plan. I mean, those are often the key factors people consider when, making a significant investment like this.
Yeah, okay, so location first. The article really plays up the best of both worlds thing, close to the BTS SkyTrain. So that means easy access to the rest of the city, but also you're surrounded by, all those trendy cafes and restaurants, nightlife. For example, they mentioned Noble Forum Thonglor, short walk from the BTS Thonglor station. And then there's Estik Thonglor. That one's near that lively Soi 10, known for its nightlife.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they're painting this picture for, I guess, a global cosmopolitan buyer, someone who wants that city life, the convenience, the excitement, but also, values peace and quiet when they need it. It's a powerful image.
And speaking of image, the amenities in this article are, well, kind of over the top. They mention Sky Lagoon pools, rooftop yoga studios, Japanese onsens, really going for that wow factor. Imagine starting your day with a swim overlooking the Bangkok skyline, huh?
Yeah, but of course, all of this comes at a price, right? I mean, they prominently feature Park Origin Thonglor. That's the tallest residential building in the area. And you know what that means? Prime location, those luxurious features, that's all going to be reflected in the cost.
Oh, absolutely. You're definitely paying a premium for that Thonglor address and those resort-style amenities. Now, let's look at the variety of units they offer. The article mentions everything, from compact one-bedrooms, perfect for, single professionals, to sprawling duplexes, and even combined units, essentially merging two condos into one massive living space. Noble Forum Thonglor, they specifically highlight, offers this combined unit option.
Interesting. It seems like they're trying to appeal to a really diverse range of buyers then. That variety of unit sizes could cater to, well, everyone from single professionals and couples to families or even investors looking for, different levels of return, larger units or those on higher floors. They might have higher rental yields or, appreciate faster in value.
Yeah, it's all very strategic, as you said. So if you're after that luxurious high-end lifestyle with every amenity you can imagine, Thonglor seems to deliver, at least according to this article. But be prepared to pay a premium and really think about the space you actually need.
Exactly, and it's important to remember this article is a marketing tool. It's meant to get you interested in buying.
Exactly. It's really highlighting all the most appealing aspects of these developments. But before you jump in and, make a major investment, what questions would you ask? What else beyond location, amenities, and unit size would be important for you?
Right, that's when the real deep dive begins. You have to go beyond those glossy brochures. Think about the things that they aren't saying outright.
Yeah. What's below the surface, so to speak?
For example, what about the developer's reputation? Have they delivered on what they promised in the past? What's the quality of the construction in their earlier projects? How about the building's management? Will it be well maintained? These are things that can really have an impact not just on your investment, but on how much you enjoy the place.
That's a really good point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new development, but you have to think about what it will be like to actually live there long term.
Absolutely. It's about looking past the marketing and considering what it will really be like to own property in Thonglor. This goes for whether you plan to live there or just use it as an investment. It's kind of fascinating how certain neighborhoods become these luxury hotspots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What actually transforms a place into the, quote, Beverly Hills of a city?
Yeah, good question. It's got to be a mix of things, right? History, location, maybe a little bit of luck, and then like a snowball effect where more and more businesses and residents want to be there.
Exactly. And Thonglor's history, it is interesting. It used to be mostly residential, known for like quiet swa and those traditional Thai houses.
So what changed? Was there like a specific event or was it more of a gradual shift?
Well, it was definitely a bunch of factors, but the arrival of the BTS SkyTrain in the late 90s, that played a big part. It made the whole neighborhood way more accessible, connect
Yeah.
to the rest of Bangkok.
Right, yeah. Improved transportation often leads to like development and higher demand.
Exactly. And around that same time, you started to see more like trendy restaurants and cafes popping up, attracting a younger, more affluent crowd.
So it's kind of like this slow evolution driven by like transportation, new businesses, shifting demographics, all that stuff.
Exactly. And as the neighborhood's reputation grew, so did demand for higher end housing, right? Which then led to the development of these luxury condo projects we're talking about today.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. The more desirable the area gets, the more people want to live there,
Yeah,
which drives up prices even more.
exactly. And that's what makes Thonglor such an interesting case study, I guess. It's this neighborhood that's constantly evolving and reinventing itself.
And speaking of evolution, do you think Thonglor will continue to be a desirable place for luxury living? Like, what about the future?
I think Thumler's future is, well, pretty bright. It's a well-established neighborhood now. It's got strong infrastructure and, a growing reputation as a lifestyle destination.
Yeah, but some people say it's getting too crowded, losing its charm. How do you think those potential challenges could impact its future as a luxury destination?
I mean, that's a valid point. When a neighborhood gets really popular, you run into issues. Traffic congestion, noise pollution, potentially even losing that intimate, exclusive feeling.
So it's a balancing act, huh?
Yeah.
Maintaining that luxury appeal, but also, managing growth in a smart way.
Exactly. And that's where good urban planning comes in, and responsible development, of course.
Okay, so what are some signs that developers and city planners are taking those concerns seriously? Like, what should potential buyers look for?
One good sign is a focus on incorporating more green spaces and public amenities into new developments. If you see projects that are prioritizing parks, gardens, community spaces, it suggests they're thinking about creating a livable, sustainable environment.
Yeah, it's not just about squeezing in as many condo units as possible. It's about creating a balanced, enjoyable living experience.
Exactly. Another positive sign is a focus on improving infrastructure, like expanding public transportation options, managing traffic flow, things like that.
Makes sense. These are definitely important factors when you're thinking about investing in Thonglor.
Definitely. It's about looking beyond the individual condo and thinking about, well, how sustainable the neighborhood itself is in the long run.
Okay, so we've talked about Thonglor's past and some potential challenges and opportunities for its future. But let's get back to that article on luxury condos. What were your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, we have to keep in mind it is targeted at foreign buyers, and it's showcasing the most luxurious, exclusive properties in Thonglor.
Yeah, it paints a picture of a very, very specific lifestyle, one that frankly might not be attainable or even desirable for everyone.
For sure. You really have to consider your own needs, your preferences, and of course your budget when you're looking at any real estate market, especially one as high-end as Thonglor.
So don't feel pressured to conform to a certain image or lifestyle that might not be right for you.
Right. Find a property in a neighborhood that really fit your values, what you want out of life.
Good advice. It's so easy to get caught up in, the allure of luxury, but it's really about finding a place that feels like home.
And home can be all sorts of things. It could be that, sleek, modern condo in a busy neighborhood like Thonglor, or it could be a cozy traditional house in a quieter part of the city.
It's about finding a space that reflects your personality, supports how you want to live, and honestly just brings you joy.
Exactly. And that's what makes finding a home so exciting. It's about self-discovery, exploring different options, and then choosing what feels right.
Well said. So as we wrap up this part of our Thonglor deep dive, let's remind everyone listening, this is just one perspective, okay? Just a tiny slice of a much bigger, much more diverse city.
Exactly. Bangkok has so many different neighborhoods, each with its own unique charm and character.
Don't limit yourself to, just those glossy brochures or online articles. Get out there, explore different areas, talk to locals, and really get a feel for what the city has to offer.
Bangkok is a city of, well, endless possibilities, just waiting to be discovered.
Who knows, you might stumble upon some hidden gem. a neighborhood that really speaks to you and becomes your own personal paradise.
Exactly. That's the beauty of exploration. You never know what you'll find.
Okay, so on that note of adventure and discovery, we'll wrap up this part of our episode.
But before we get to our final thoughts, I wanted to go back to something we talked about before. The things that make a place truly special that you can't really measure.
Oh yeah, the things you can't quite put your finger on, but they make you feel like you belong, really at home.
Exactly. What are those intangible qualities that make a place more than just a house or a condo?
Hmm, it's a tough question. I mean, is it like the warmth of the community, the energy of the neighborhood, maybe a feeling of peace and quiet when you walk through the door?
I think it's probably a bit of everything, a special mix that just creates like a sense of harmony, feeling content.
It's this really personal journey searching for that feeling of being truly at home.
And it's a journey worth taking. So, as you're looking at different neighborhoods and houses, don't just focus on the practical stuff. Pay attention to the things that speak to your heart, too.
Yeah, because those are the things that turn a house into a home, you know,
Yeah.
a place where you can really be yourself and thrive. And with that in mind, let's move on to our final thoughts on luxury living in Thonglor.
Okay, so we've talked about like all the concrete stuff, right? The location, the amenities, the whole investment side of things. But as we wrap this up, I want to go back to something we touched on earlier, those intangible qualities that make you feel like you belong somewhere. Like what really makes a place feel like home?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it really depends on, what each person values, their priorities. For some people, it might be that sense of community, feeling connected to their neighbors, being part of a lively social scene.
Makes sense. Especially in Thonglor. I mean, the article really emphasizes that mix of like urban energy, but also a tight-knit community. Yeah, exactly. But for other people, it might be more about peace and quiet, having a place to escape the city. Which kind of explains why those over-the-top amenities are so appealing. The rooftop gardens, the spas, all that.
Right, it's like creating your own little oasis right in
Yeah.
the middle of everything. And then some people, I bet for them, that feeling of home comes from a sense of accomplishment. Like they've reached a point where they can enjoy this kind of lifestyle.
Hmm. Interesting. And that connects back to the whole idea of Thonglor as a status symbol. It's not just the place itself, it's what living there says about you.
Exactly. But for someone who's really into personal growth, well-being, home might be a place that supports those things, a place that helps them live their best life.
Yeah, and we see that in a lot of these condo developments, right? All the emphasis on gyms, yoga studios, healthy food options. It's about matching your space to your values, what you want to achieve.
So at the end of the day, those things that make a home are super personal, tied to our emotions, what we want out of life.
I think you're right. It's not something you can easily, like, put into words or measure. It's a feeling, a sense of connection, of truly belonging that makes a place special.
Well said. And as we wrap up, I think that's a good takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
As you're exploring different neighborhoods, looking at houses, don't just focus on the practical stuff. Think about how those places make you feel.
Exactly. Ask yourself, does this place make me happy? Does it inspire me? Do I feel at peace here? Those feelings, they tell you a lot about whether a place could become your true home.
Love that. And don't forget, the journey of finding your dream home. That's part of the fun too, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy the process, explore all the options, and trust your gut.
The best home is the one that makes you feel truly content, happy at peace.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into luxury living in Thonglor. We hope this has given you some food for thought and maybe inspired you to look beyond just the surface level, to consider what really makes a place special. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep taking those deep dives with us.